everyone, it's Nina from Waffle Flower. We've got a new shaker die and shaker cover in our February 2024 release. So I thought it'd be fun to do a quick recap on the popular products we have for making shaker cards. Most of the card samples you'll see are made by our awesome design team. Before we dive into the specific shaker dies, I want to point out that you can turn almost any shaped die into a shaker. We call these traditional shakers. They are usually made by gluing a piece of acetate to the back of a die-cut window, then adhering foam tape to the back of the acetate along the perimeter of the window opening as a spacer for the shaker elements to move around. And lastly, sealing the foam opening with another piece of cardstock. Straight edges, like those in the pinking rectangle frame style, are easier to turn into shaker cards. We've got many frame dies similar to the eucalyptus panel die, which have borders along the designs, making it easy to add foam tape along the window opening. The folk art frame die is also fantastic for shaker cards. I believe this is using one of the 3 window trail dies we have. Galina customized her shaker panel by cutting out the window trail twice for this design. Another shaker card using the eucalyptus panel die, and 2 cards using the book cover die. So good. See the foam tapes along the edges? It's almost inevitable to have seams along the edges on a traditional shaker card, unless you use the Waffle Flower foam strips that have a specific shaker frame piece. And this is where our flat shaker covers come in handy. This half-half hard shaker uses the A2 Infinity shaker cover, and you can see a bit of the edges showing through the front panel. The Infinity shaker cover actually slightly bigger than A2, so you can make your card base the same way you always do and attach the acetate flaps to the back of your card front to create your shaker pouch. These flat shakers hold a ton. The shaker elements won't get hung on the edges, which happens a lot to traditional shaker cards using foam tapes. The flat shakers become so popular that we added more sizes and shapes to the collection, such as the 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches for those who prefer the finish of the card to still be a standard A2 size. All of our flat shaker covers are made from durable, high-shine acetate sheets, but unfortunately, only the original A2 Infinity shakers come with adhesives. I just noticed on this card, Galina uses 1 layer of the elongated hex stencil duo on the shaker cover to make it extra special when it overlaps. Oh, so good. A great idea to give new life to some oldie-goodie layering stencils, don't you think? Here are more cards using the A2 Infinity shaker cover, and more cards using the 4 by 5 1/4 inch shaker cover. The 1/8 inch border you'll have on a standard A2 card will help bring the color of your focal point out. You can customize your shaker cards with many other products and use dies to create your own shaker elements, such as a puzzle die used here on Jenny's card. These rectangle shaker card designs are great for designs featuring a frame with a beautiful sentiment in the center. You can also keep it simple to a graphic background with sentiment die cuts on top. We also have the flat shaker covers and 3 by 8 inches for slimline cards and 3 1/2 inches squares. We call these straight edge shaker covers that you do not need special dies for. Next up are the 2 flat circle shaker covers, available for 3 inch and 4 1/4 inch circles. You can use our nesting circle style for them. You should be able to find some circle dies from almost any company, or you could trace the circles with a pencil and then cut it out by hand. As you may know, that our lacy circle style and lacy square style are made for square cards up to 5 1/2 inches, and they make the perfect backer piece for the 4 1/4 inch circle shakers. Or you could draw your own panel, as what Galina did here for the oversized fruit stencil card. We have some circular shaped word dies that will fit in the circle shakers too. The 3-inch circle shaker cover is designed to be used for highlighting an element or sentiment on your card. Again, the sizes on the packaging of the circle shaker covers are the sizes of the circles you will use inside the shakers. Please check out the how-to video linked below for more details. We also have flat shaker covers in 2 oval sizes. As far as I know, these oval sizes are exclusive to Waffle Flower. If you don't have our nesting oval dies, you will need to trace and cut out the ovals yourself. Here's 2 cards using the bigger oval shaker cover. One thing to note is that even though we call these flat shaker covers, the edges does not lay flat because cardstocks are usually more flexible than the SDA material we used for these shaker covers. This helps create room for the shaker elements to move freely inside the shakers. You can still flatten the edges to help sliding them into envelopes, but I actually only added liquid adhesive to the center of the shaker and then used foam tape along the edges to help them stay put. If this bothers you, the flat shaker covers might not be your thing. But personally, I love the extra dimension it adds. Now, let's move on to our molded plastic shaker covers. We have both puffy shakers and slim shakers in this style. We have a collection of shaker dies designed to be used with or without them. This Hey Sunshine card by JJ is a good example to show you dimensions the puffy shakers can provide. We have the puffy shaker covers in 3 shapes: a circle, a heart, and a star. I believe this Make-A-Wish panel die with the star is already discontinued, but you get the idea. You can easily create a similar look using the shaker star die that is still available. If you could wait a few days, I believe all of these shaker covers and dies will be included in our February flash sale on the 18th. All of the shaker dies include an inner and outer outline for the shaker shape. When used with the puffy shaker covers, all you need is the inner outline die to cut out the window. Here are some examples using the puffy circle shaker cover. The frame die on the left is actually a standalone die that was designed to work with or without the shaker covers. Should we have more dies like this? Let us know in the comments below. We tried adding the circle window die in the matching die set for the boot stamp set last Halloween, and you can make a shaker moon in a breeze. Talking about coordinating dies, the sun was actually created using the solar system die. There are tons of great samples on the product page in waffleflower.com. The snail die is another great example. Again, all of these shaker dies include dies to help you create jigs for cutting out the perfect frame every time. I will get to it later in this video, but you can find more ideas by checking out the playlist on our YouTube channel. Last but not least is our slim shakers. These shaker covers feature a low profile, so it is easier for them to go through our mailing systems. The slim shaker circle die contains 3 sizes. We wanted to provide more options for your creative minds. JJ used 2 of the circles to create a snowman. Isn't it fun? You will need the dies with dots on both the inside and outside of the die lines for cutting out the windows for the slim circle shaker covers. The dies with dots only on the inside of the die lines are there just in case you need something for creating bagger pieces for your circle shakers. Here's how the biggest slim circle shaker cover look with the elegant oval frame die and the butterfly circle die. Last spring, we added the slim shaker butterfly to our collection with coordinating stencils. As with the rest of our shaker dies, how-to video is linked in our playlist. Last winter, we added the Christmas tree shaker cover. As with all the shaker dies we have, you can cut out the shaker window directly from the card front, or even pop it up with some foam tape for added dimension, but a smooth inside. The frame can also be used purely for decoration purposes. Try using specialty cardstock and sprinkles as shaker elements for a change. And now we have a Lucky Clover slim shaker cover. It works with the standalone Lucky Clover foil plate, but the slim shakers cannot have pointy corners like the foil plate design, so you will have rounded corners on the shaker die. This is how the traditional shaker look made from the Lucky Clover shaker die. On screen is the standalone Lucky Clover die with sparkles around the 4-leaf clover die. The shaker die version contains 2 jig or spacer dies. I die cut the jigs 5 times each and stack the layers so the jig is easier to lift up. I numbered them 1 and 2 as indicated on the back of both outline dies and the jig dies. Lay your outline dies with the die lines facing the cardstock you want to cut out so you can read the numbers on the back of the die and add some tape to keep the dies in position. Then remove the jigs to run your sandwich through your die cut machine. That's it for today. Don't forget to check out our playlist on shaker cards to learn more about these products. I hope you enjoy creating some fun shaker cards. Thank you for spending time with me today, and I'll see you again soon.